The manga opens up with an ugly bastard holding a watch which stops time. With a devious smile on his face, he looks at the woman in front of him and yaps about how she won't be able to move or know what's coming next. He extends his arms towards the woman and tells her that it's her fault for being so careless while walking down the street looking like that. It looks like he is going to grab her melons and do some NTR stuff with her. But it turns out she was standing in the middle of the road in front of Truck Quinn, and the ugly bastard was pulling her towards safety. Once she was safe, he resumed the time and thought this incident was a close one. If he didn't get here just in time, who knows what would have happened. He points out this truck was on his duty to send someone to a Sekai land. Then we see a woman in compromised position and someone say, "Don't be so tense." It turns out someone was mailing her black, and asks if she didn't agree to do this in order to get money for her mother's treatment. The male blacker further assures her that he has a lot of money. You can tell she doesn't really want to do this, but she has no other choice, because she is broke. She is just like me for real. We then see the face of the person who was saying all this stuff, and it wasn't the ugly bastard. He tells the woman to make a peace sign in the end to make sure it looks like she is in this situation willingly. But then we see our ugly bastard standing behind him with a baseball bat and ready to stop the time.
A few moments later,
we see our protagonist making a grim face and he has the woman on his shoulders. But then we zoom out and see the baseball he was holding was in the a-hole of the person who was mailing black this woman. He then takes her outside, and we see he has resumed the time. The woman was crying as she had a stack of cash in her pocket. There was also a note which reads, "Please don't do it again. Everything will be alright." She doesn't understand any of this. Looks like not all heroes wear capes. Some wear ugly bastard skin. The woman then goes to the hospital for her mother's treatment, and we see her crying tears of joy. Turns out her mother's surgery was successful and she is on her way to recovery. If our protagonist didn't save her in time, the woman's mother would have been in the real danger. She goes to her mom and reveals she was really scared. She tells her mother terrible thoughts were going through her mind, and she didn't know what to do next. She wonders if using the money she found for her mother's treatment was the right move.
The next day,
we then see a hostile situation including 2 high school students and some goons. It turns out the goons were trying to do NTR stuff and the boy standing in front of her was protecting her. He tells the goons to leave them alone, but they weren't having it. One of them raises his fist to punch the boy and says, "I'm gonna kill you." But then our ugly protagonist shows up out of nowhere and stops the time. It looks like he was rescuing an abandoned cat and decides to do some side quests. But then a few moments later, we can see the 2 goons giving each other some oral support. The girl named Shimizu gets wet and tells the boy he was really cool for taking down both of them. She wonders if he can clap her cat, like the way he beat them goons, and asks him out right then and there. But the boy named Hiro says, "It wasn't me. I don't know anything." She then grabs her collar and tells Hiro to stop addressing me with my last name. "It reminds me of my father." But Hiro-kun persists that it was a misunderstanding and the goons collapsed on their own. Meanwhile, he can't believe that the girl standing next to him just asked him out. Turns out these 2 are childhood friends, and the girl was waiting for this moment since early elementary school. She tells Hiro to call her by the first name. She tells him it's Haruka, and says there is no misunderstanding whatsoever. About the going out part, she wasn't asking him. She was telling him, and wasn't ready to hear no for an answer. She then gaslights him and asks, what kind of man makes a girl repeat herself? She thought it was gay.
Huh?
Meanwhile, our protagonist was doing really wholesome stuff with the cat he rescued and gives her food. Lately, a bald man has been sighted on the Cherry Blossom Road, who goes by the name Dazzling Pink. For the past few weeks, he has been engaging in indecent acts towards women of various ages. This morning, he saw 3 high school students and ran towards them saying, "Do you want to see something thrilling? Check this out." He reveals his little Johnny down there and shouts Dazzling Pink. The girls look around to see what is going on, but it turns out our ugly protagonist reached at the right moment and stopped the time so he could prevent the girls from witnessing his dazzling pink stick. He then takes off his mask and sunglasses, and oh my god, he is even uglier than the protagonist of this manga. MC places him on his bicycle and starts going somewhere. Meanwhile, his little Johnny and 2 meatballs get some much-needed fresh air. He puts the butt-naked Dazzling Pink in front of 2 police officers and starts the time using his stopwatch. The ugly protagonist angrily tells the police officer he wasn't Dazzling Pink and was wrongly targeted due to the similarity of his looks. The police officer apologizes and asks him to accept his apology. Meanwhile, the Dazzling Pink was arrested, and from that day onwards, the legend of Dazzling Pink was no more. Back at the Cherry Blossom Road, the time resumed as well, and the red-haired girl was confused. She wondered what just happened now. Meanwhile, the blonde girl thinks the old man who was standing in front of them was from the rumors. She wondered maybe it was the Dazzling Pink. She thinks the man was about to show them his little pee-pee, but somehow, he disappeared in a mysterious way. She was excited and wanted to see it for herself. The girl behind her freaked out and told the blonde girl named Shizuka to calm down. Now I would be lying if I said I didn't notice her violating Ice Lollipop like a total pro, because I totally did. And this served as a good motivator for a left-handed workout. Yes, I need to go outside and touch some grass. Turns out she knew the rumor about Dazzling Pink and purposely chose this road to see if his pee-pee was actually pink. I guess blondes are really freaky after all. Shizuka corrupts the red-haired innocent girl, and now even she is curious to see the Dazzling Pink. Meanwhile, the other girl immediately steps back and wonders why was she friends with him. She mumbles to herself, I don't know these two. We then see our ugly protagonist holding a ball, while two kids and their mother is standing in front of him. They judge our boy on his looks and start shivering because they think he is a bad person. It turns out that one of the kids accidentally hit our protagonist on the head with the ball. He gives the ball back and smiles at the kid, which looks absolutely horrific. He tells him that his throw was really nice, but he must pay attention to the people in his surroundings when playing. The kid grabs the ball and starts crying. Seeing this, his mother picks him up and starts running away from the MC. She looks afraid of him and doesn't want to be around him. Poor guy just wanted to be nice and appreciated. Looks do matter after all. He then sits alone in the park wondering what did he do wrong. He starts drinking his beer while sitting on the bench, and his pet cat applies a band-aid at the site of wound on his forehead. A woman can be seen running, late from her job. She works as a manga assistant, and right now, she is terrified because she will lose her job if she doesn't deliver the stack of manga manuscripts on time. The chief editor will fire her. But then she steps on a banana peel in the middle of the bridge and falls down. The manuscripts she was holding go flying in the air, and she screams, "Why is there a banana peel in the middle of a Japanese street?" Yeah, no cap. But then our ugly protagonist arrives and stops the time, freezing everything in place. It turns out the lady forgot to bring her bag and wasn't able to secure the manuscripts properly. Zooming in on the manga panels, it looks like she was carrying a rom-com manga manuscript. The MC struggles to recover the manga panels due to his short stature, but somehow gets it done. He then takes a sneak peek at one of the manuscripts, and his eyes are left wide open. Just like my anus after having Taco Bell. What looked like a rom-com manga turned out to be a doujin. Looking at this panel, you can tell the author was watching the Disney movie, Beauty and the Beast, and decided to recreate it for people of culture. Our protagonist starts the time, and even an ugly bastard like him is traumatized after seeing the diabolical manga panels the woman was carrying. After seeing the manuscript, he wishes to have a beer in order to forget what he saw. Meanwhile, the woman is wondering how the manuscripts are still here. She is confused because a few moments ago, they were scattered in the air. She wonders if her job is still secured, now that she has the manga panels. In the next panel, we can see that the manga plot has progressed a bit, and now the beast has turned into a prince. Because of their love, the curse upon him has been lifted, and now he is human again. Meanwhile, the princess has passed out from taking all those back shots. Turns out despite reaching on time, the author was playing video games all night and didn't even sleep. The woman thinks they are going to miss the deadline again. Meanwhile, the author is questioning her life decisions. She thought making doujins would make her happy, but turns out it's a pain in the ass. She then questions herself and wonders why is she doing it in the first place. The story moves on, and we see a bunch of cult members performing some sort of a ritual. It looks like they are trying to summon a powerful being. Their leader orders them to chant even harder. He says, "Give it your all, like your life depends on it." This is the exact same thought I had while sitting on the toilet this morning. As they are chanting, a different dimension opens, and an otherworldly being can be seen coming through. The cult leader chants, "Descend upon us, and unleash your omnipotent power to conquer this world." But our protagonist arrives, and with his nonchalant attitude, he simply stops the time. He then starts cleaning the cult symbol from the ground, takes a beer break, and gets back to work. He then resumes the time, and the cult members are shocked to see what the hell they have summoned. Instead of summoning a god, they have summoned a succubus. The cult leader gets mad, and grabs one of the members from his collar, and demands, who interfered with the summoning circle. Instead of summoning a god, they have summoned a little child. The succubus feels disrespected, and says she is a succubus, not a little pathetic child. One of the cult members is changing mind and starts shouting, "Would," as in he would clap her. The cult members are then arrested, and it turns out they belong to a cult named the Resurrection of the Dark Lord. They were arrested for spreading misinformation, causing public disturbance and fraud. The succubus sees all this and gets worried because she has no idea how to get back to her world without their help.